I see you soon also kind of smurfing on Arlets as well.
Yeah.
This is going to be one heck of a battle.
Can't wait for it. We're going to be loading up in here into game number 1, the draft between ONIC and SYS soon. Really, again, fighting for that top spot in their group. As we get it situated, SYS soon will be on the blue here, ONIC on the red. Matilda already being banned out, and there you go as well. The Lancelot here taken out by ONIC.
Such respect, right? Such respect, at least for the Lancelot.
Even though Carey is one of those who you should be afraid from when he plays the Assassins, but yet, we have seen yesterday against Team Triple Esports that he managed to have a switch, not just with the XP, because we all know that the junglers mostly rely on the XP to take their own picks when we are talking about the Fredrin, or we can go for the Guinevere or otherwise. But yesterday, Carey actually swept with Keyboy and got his fan.
Yeah, and again, you know, when you're talking about these two regions in itself, right? Really, if you focus especially on what's happening over in Cambodia, their MPL, what season they just had was, how many seasons in? Like 5, I think it is?
Yeah,
somewhere around
there.
4 or 5 seasons.
Yep.
So when you're comparing that, again, you got to kind of consider what is maybe the gap, right, between MPL Indonesia, that's been around a little bit longer, and then you have Cambodia. But really, when you watch them play so far, I think this is going to be a telling sign for us as we get through this series, right, especially game number 1, because like Yasu mentioned, he feels like this is a team that really tries to emulate that play style of ONIC. And it's funny because at one point, you have these teams really trying to adapt, if you will, the play styles of Indonesia, Philippines, but then they sprinkle in their own version of it. And that's even what we saw from the previous series, right? With even EECA, how they have adapted that. But, with that, I'm actually surprised Yusun decides to take out the Angela, a hero that they've loved to play so far.
Yeah, absolutely, and it feels like, at least for the side of CU soon, if you are going to emulate or mirror somebody that you look up to, you also know what they are good at playing as well. So I can understand the sentiment of like, we like playing it, so therefore there's a good chance you like playing it. Yeah. Let's just axe it out straight away. As we start going over the picks, right? Lancelot, Joy, Nolan instantly banned out for the side of ONIC. It's going to be Matilda, Wanwan, as well as Angela for the side of CU soon, with the first pick of the Faramis for the side of CU soon.
Faramis. Faramis have proven himself overall through the M5 itself, but again, you still have the Valentina open, you still can take that Bruno with the Valentina, so Team ONIC actually haven't lost that much when it comes to that draft. They actually have the advantage now of counter-picking and also to have 2 of the best heroes so far in the tournament.
Love that you pointed out. We'll see if
Guinevere.
Guinevere's open, who has been... I love seeing the Cyclops, by the way, but Guinevere's picked up here. I'm expecting maybe this is already going to be, if they want to go with the Valentina, they know that the Faramis is across from them. You could save it a little bit if you want to, but they go the Novaria. So they opt for the Vision. They opt for the Vision, the increased hitboxes and everything else to pair up here with that Guinevere.
Okay, it just seems that at least when you are locking in this Novaria super early on, right?
Yeah.
That ONIC is planning on, I'm going to hurt you, I'm going to harass you as much as I can prior to the build-up to that neutral objective, whether it be Lord, whether it be Turtle.
Speaking of the Lords.
Interesting.
See you soon, wow.
Lordmination. CU soon is only a team in M5 with 100% Lord control rate so far. That is a crazy statistic, right? I mean... Wow.
To be fair, they've had sweeps the entire time they play. Yeah. Every single time we see CU soon, it's like 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. This is the first big challenge, the big hurdle to kind of test them, right? We do see the Arlet once again, but we're also seeing the Martis get locked in for the side of CU soon. I'm thinking about an early game composition, and especially with the way that we've seen CU soon actually play, it'll be interesting to see how ONIC is going to approach this. Do you match the aggression, or do you play on the opposite side of the map?
Even though it's hard for me, especially because I'm gonna speak about Triple Esports here, Season have managed to, I would say, outplay Triple Esports in a really good way. Again, with the Lord zoning and everything, but yet, again, they have this way of playing where they can neglect a lane and focus on another place in the map. I can remember that the Arut was having a really hard time against the Tamus from the side of Team Season, yet he said like, okay, I'm gonna just leave the XP lane. I'm gonna go for the gold. I'm gonna use my crowd control. And over there, he found his spot. And over there, Team C soon dominated. I can see the Arut once again. I kinda have the same imagination once again.
Yeah, as our good friend LaFell would like to say, imagine. Anytime the Arut pops up, he always decides to tell us to imagine exactly what a 4 or 5-man final slash could do to a game, right?
Yeah.
Now, aside from that, you have to take note the Claude was being locked in here. That is typically an answer, usually when you got the Netherrealm across from you, right? If you're not going to be locking in the Valentina, at least, hey, we've got a Blazing Duet. We could work and whittle down those health bars from the Netherrealm and hope to follow up from it. Already, though, if you look at the first 3 picks for both teams, it's pretty good. It's pretty even, at least at what they want to do and go through the game with.
But having the carry ban here, does that kind of make you feel, guys, that you will see more tanky heroes upcoming from Team ONIC, or they are just afraid of a carry pick from SYS soon?
No, absolutely. I think that ONIC kind of design what they want to approach. They're being very, very honest in the draft here, especially with the types of bans that they're coming out with, right? Again, the fact that they are locking in the Claude, yes, it's great against the farmers, but it's also a pretty decent counter to Novaria as well to have that backline access. So therefore, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You want to find these overlaps, which Coach Yeb in particular is really good at doing. He's got that type of foresight.
Okay, again, next up ban coming out here. We'll see exactly how they want to tackle this. And with that, too, my question is really gold lane for SYS soon. What do they want to park there, Yasu? What are you feeling like they want to pick up?
In the gold lane, I would actually choose...
Oh, no.
I would go for an Airthil.
Why are we feeling like,
happened?
oh, no?
I'm feeling like there is a possibility that someone may have missed their ban here, and Coach Yeb is looking over like, hey, yo, did someone miss a ban, or did we disconnect? What's going on?
All right, well, you know what that means. Let's get comfy for a second here.
Yeah.
As they get us situated.
We gotta chill like Sans, man. Look at
Yeah.
the man. He's on an ergonomic chair. He's pulled it. He's doing the "Can you do this" on his chair moment.
That's exactly what I'm doing right now, man.
Let's
The
break.
secret lab chair.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's still going.
The Titan.
The Titan.
How far can you go?
How far can you go?
Yasu, don't tempt me. All right? I'm
right.
here for 3 series in a row.
Okay. And
The
2
last
ones,
one was
2
quite
ones.
long.
The last one was quite long, and you're tempting Naisu with a good time. That chair is going to be able to hold him. Like the width of that chair is the size of his shoulders, and I'll tell you what, even fitting the building on a chair like this, it's an impressive feat alone.
Hey, I would say, guys, if you're wondering about the sizing, right, for these amazing secret lab chairs, there's the Omega and there's Titan. If you're my size, you probably want a Titan.
Oh, yeah.
Don't try to get the Omega.
Don't
I've
skip
tried
out.
it.
Don't,
The Omega is for guys like me.
Yes.
I can fit in like anywhere.
Absolutely, absolutely. Even for me, I would much rather. I made the mistake once of going for the Omega, and you know why it was a mistake?
So
because
wait, did you refund it?
obviously not. You think I'm just going to refund a chair just like that? I put it together, and I am not going to dismantle it anytime soon. My big mistake was I didn't get a Titan, and I also didn't get the nice reskin that they have. The premium leather works well, okay? But let's jump back into this particular game, because based on what we are seeing specifically from what Coach Yeb wants to do,
Right.
2 birds with 1 stone, gets rid of the carry, which brings the idea of, hey, at least Guinevere, we kind of know it's leaning in towards the jungle at the very least.
Well, look, let's break this draft down. Let's break it down. As I told you, Team ONIC, they do love their scaling heroes. They give CW the Claude, if I'm not, yeah, Claude. So they will, and this is surprising for me, because whenever I see a scaling hero, I see that players give their best so that it's supported as much as possible. But when we see Team ONIC, especially, they leave CW on his own to manage his own business in the gold lane.
Yeah.
Having that said, you asked me a question before we pop into this like quick pause here, Naisu. You said, what do you expect to see from Team SYS soon when it comes to the gold lane? I would actually say that why not have a Bruno? A Bruno is still so far open, and also why not have an Airthil? I think an Airthil can suit their own composition.
I agree. At the same time, you know, really when you're looking at the gold lane, let's think. You have a Claude across from you.
All right.
You at least have the Netherrealm on your side, right? You already saw too, the carry was banned out. That's why I'm really wondering too, what is those last 2 picks for ONIC? Because that is a big part of the equation to this. And that, you know, when I threw that question at you, Yasu, I wasn't expecting what we're going through right here. But, you know, there's a couple options left on the table for that.
I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted with the crowd. The crowd work is great. Cameramans are on point and they are quick. But honestly, to answer both of your questions, here's what I'm expecting it's going to be. Yes, Bruno should probably be a very big consideration for Coach GM to actually ban out because you want to actually have a lane that's manageable, right? Very manageable, in a matter of fact. Are you recognized? Oh, come on.
Yep.
You better. Oh, denied? Okay, there we go. Oh! Denied! Stop right there! Ooh, that's painful.
Hey, that's he's known for the call dog.
He's
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, I don't even know if he's the one that maybe he inspired Mirko to do it when Mirko did the call dog. I think this is like, I don't know if there was an actual video or something about it, but oh, hold on, there's a guessing game. The backup crews. How many support heroes are there at MLBB?
Oh, that's not fair.
Do you guys know?
So let's like have it. Let's go in a circle here. Everyone mention a support, and it hasn't been mentioned before. I'll start with Angela.
Wait, are they gonna guess in the crowd? Are they gonna like write it down?
I mean, if they go for it.
Is this our first guessing game?
I don't mind if the crowd goes for it.
Come on, crowd.
If the crowd is down to guess alongside with us, that would be great here, because if we're talking about a number of supports, that's a little tough. I mean, Angela's already a good one. I'm guessing, you know. Wait, hold on, because there's a difference between tanks and supports, and some overlap.
Trick question.
That's why it's kind of dirty what production's trying to do with us right now.
You guys watching at home online, I know you're probably spamming a bunch of useful stuff in the chat box, but go ahead and try to guess.
Give it your best shot.
Okay, let's give a number. Let's throw a number.
Wait, how many total heroes are there actually currently?
That's also not a fair question.
130, I guess, so around that.
Is it 130?
It's only 12.
It's only 12.
That's so dirty.
Actually, I get it, because when you're in the draft and you select the tab, there's only maybe 2.5-ish rows.
Exactly. That's why. Because when you're thinking of support, you're thinking roam. And when you start thinking roam, that's when it starts messing things up. You're like, oh yeah, Arlet's technically a quote-unquote support. No, he's not. He's technically a fighter. There's categories in this game.
He's not even a tank, you know? Like, he's being used as a tank, but he's not even a tank.
Exactly. That's why. Nicely done, production. We fooled them all.
If they're going to... Hey, production... If you're going to start having guessing games, and we start to get to the knockout stage, we got to have prizes for these winners out there.
Ooh,
there's got to be. If we're going to have a trivia, what's the point of a trivia without, you know, winning something?
I'm calling the prizes, calling Starlight, hold me accountable to it. If they're not giving you Starlight skins,
what about dust? What about dust? Would you like some more magic dust?
No, hell no. Give me an epic skin. Give me an epic skin. I don't want the choice of not knowing what skin I want. I just want the skin.
I'm actually aiming for the skies here. I want an ROG6.
Whoa!
That's the skies.
Yo, that question better be good. That question, if it's more than ROG6, I cannot imagine what that question is going to be.
Well, with that, and reaching to the skies, it looks like, I hear, anyway, that we will be heading back into the draft here. We'll see exactly, too. I'm assuming they're just going to have that first phase locked in still.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And kind of move around from that. We were down to the last banning phase, too, the second phase of that. Really, and I think it was from SYS side that they had to kind of situate there. So once again, should be jumping back here in just a second as they get things situated. But really, when you're wondering gold lane anyway, never mind. There's more. There's more guesses.
Who is the loneliest hero?
Another one. They need some more time. Who is the loneliest hero?
Oh my goodness.
For me, it's Cho, to be honest. Since the
Cho's
Bro, these are the choices.
No, but I think they are misleading us.
No.
The Lone Star.
I don't trust them anymore.
Why? Okay, give me lore. Give me reasons. Give me reasons here. Because
since the beginning, like, I've been seeing people go and couple up in this game, but Cho has been here since the start, and so far he doesn't have a girlfriend.
I mean,
he doesn't. He's married to the way of the dragon, man. He doesn't need it. There. Okay. Jumping back into it. I don't know if that was the answer, by the way. Like Arlott, is that?
Arlott's pretty sad. I'm not gonna lie. Arlott's lore, pretty sad. I think Leo can attest for this. We'll have him on some other time to make some content about it. But in the meantime, let's jump back into the draft, because now we see that Uranus and Trizla being the follow-up bans for CU soon in the second phase. And as predicted, right, we're getting the Bruno banned out for the side of ONIC Esports, as well as where we left off in that carry.
Looking at Coach Yev, actually, I wonder. I can't help but to wonder. Oh, nice Kaji here. it will actually work really good with the Kaja, with the pickup hero. But I will go back to my point. Coach Yap, he banned 3 junglers at the first phase of drafting. He took the Guinevere, so I kind of think that he led Coach Catgut to go for the March, or at least he wanted to take a lot of his arsenal. Maybe there was a Fredgen as well, so he didn't have that much of a choice.
Sand rises.
Sand rises.
Okay, this is interesting.
Yeah.
How are we feeling about the Khalid here, Yasu? It locked in to round out ONIC lineup.
Look, it will work really good with the Minotaur especially because you need that area crowd control also to reach the backlines, and Khalid can be one of those who can reach the backline without even suffering from the crowd control itself. We will see how will the Sandstorm work.
Okay, I mean, with that being said, I have a lot of thoughts as we get into this game because the way that I see it, backline access is going to be one thing, but also the fact that siege-wise, it's going to be difficult for CU Soon to really approach the fight to begin with. A lot of AoE crowd control, and if CU Soon make that first move, ONIC's clapback is going to be way more dangerous.
A really tricky idea here from my side. I would say Kaja, take that miniature out, everything from there will be easy.
Well, you guys shared your thoughts here. We're going to be loading up into game number 1. Again, the best of 3, the series, the battle for the King of the Hill of Group A between CU Soon and ONIC. And with the lineups that they have for this game, we'll see who starts the momentum for the series here. It all comes down to this start. From what we've seen from CU Soon, mostly. Whoa, hold on, Ra.
He's walked up too far, and that might just be first blood. No, he survives. Okay, Boots doing a really good job, especially at level 1, really abusing the Sand Tornado to make sure that he is just absolutely gnarly in this matchup, because he knows even if he gets chunked out at the very least, as soon as he hits level 2, he's just going to top himself back up.
Okay, as I was doing all that, I was getting a little worried, because I'm like, CU Soon has started off momentum usually. And then they almost got taken out, but even Kosei, he's going to have to be careful here. He has Boxy with him, but, you know, relatively well when you look at the lineups here. And I want to take us through the emblems here. Yasu, can you, anything particular out here?
Well, the thing is, we have seen Khalid during the whole M5 series going for a full, I would say a full. This time he have this one part of a tank emblem, but he goes always for a full damage with the assassin emblem. So far, this is what I expected from after seeing Boots pick up this Khalid, but I didn't definitely expect him to go aggressive at the first minute at the mid lane, not even on the top lane side.
I mean, that's what you need to expect when you have a Khalid on your side, right? It's about map influence in the earlier stages of the game where he is one of the strongest level 1s in the game thus far. I mean, then there's also Thamas, but then we have to start comparing the meta, and that's a little too much work to actually do right now. But let's focus on the simple facts, right? First, Hussein has Master Assassin as a Brody. That is not normal whatsoever. He is expecting CW to kind of be left on his own island.
Yeah, and with the, I mean, look at what's happening already, right? The focus here, trying to at least get anything if they can, but first turtle being up, they're going to get a situated Felix, though.
I mean, Felix is playing this well, right? It's important for Felix to actually trade against this Khalid alongside the wave so he can get multiple vengeances down to top off that health. But now, here we go. Astral Echo has been laid out. They spot all 4 members, and it's huge! They get a great knockup. NetherRealm keeps them alive. Now it's going to be the final slash to actually turn things around. First blood onto Kyrie's side, and even Keyboy trying his best gets pulled back by the Shadow Stampede. Zads finds the kill onto the MP, the King. The Minoan Fear was not able to turn enough, but it's still a 2-for-1 trade.
Wow, this is the chaos that you can expect the Khalid to do when he have that Flicker ult. Not to mention he also have Keyboy, but laning phase here, Kosei is having a good time playing against CW.
For me, that was like a preview, right, of what that layering can look like when you have Keyboy with this Minotaur, you have the Minoan Fury, and then you have those Raging Sandstorms set up. So really, when you look at that, CU Soon, they got a preview of it. They have enough time to kind of adjust from that. And nice dodge there, nice reflex, the thumbs up as well. But really, when that happens, if they can avoid from that setup, right? Whether that's utilizing the final slash from Sorry on Felix and then play around that, disengage, or maybe it's even just utilizing the Nether Realm, that timing is going to be so important for CU Soon. So still battling it out here once again for this turtle.
Now we see the Divine Judgment landing on towards Kyrie and instantly punishing him for walking up to the turtle side. I thought it was going to be an issue, but it looks like ONIC forgot about one simple factor.
On the top lane side, all the action is happening. We have just seen Boxy the King. Oh, that was almost a steal. He uses a retribution even though he knows that carry is out. But again, I want to speak about something here, and that Kaja, this is something I didn't mention. Kaja is one of those heroes when you play a Minotaur you should be afraid from, because when you are raging out, he can cancel your ultimate, he can take you down and drag you to his teammates.
Yeah. CW might be in some trouble here.
Whoa.
He takes a bit of damage, gets chunked down below half, and Boxy the King, again, they need to start making sure that they keep timers on when Boxy the King actually uses that Divine Judgment. It's dangerous, but it's also a linchpin for See You Soon.
Yeah, paying attention to that, the timing there. Oh, they might initiate.
Yep, they go with the Blazing Duet so far. NetherRealm has already been called out as the Astro Echoes calls the rest of the team. The final slash comes on through, allowing Sorry I'm Felix to get on, but Boots stops the rest of the follow-up with a Raging Sandstorm. They find a kill back with the help of Sands, and King goes down. Kyrie now with a spatial migration finds a double kill with the help of the Violent Requiem. That's going to be 4 down for nothing.
Man, again, and it looks like it might go in the way of See You Soon, and then all of a sudden, smack comes ONIC. And it was overlaid really well, but still, it's not a huge lead for them. See You Soon can kind of recollect here, try to find their own timing, and right now, it's got to be Boxy. He's got to be able to find things up, but this might not be it right here. He's trying to...
Oh, wow. What's he trying
I'm not
to do?
sure. I'm not sure what he's trying to do. Again, trying to bait something out here.
Let's see if he lands it. Nope, forced the flicker out of there. Sands, he wanted that kill. He wanted that kill bad.
Yeah. In that last team fight, crowd control speaks at its finest. We have seen a lot of crowd control being utilized from the side of ONIC team just to make See You Soon paralyzed on that top lane side. But again, CW, I said the opposite. I said that Kosei is having the best time of his life, but after CW got those 4 assists in the early game, I cannot imagine how will he do in the mid game.
Yeah, that's tough, right? You got to kind of adjust from that, knowing that this is going to be a minor advantage for CW, at least in the gold lane. He's going to continue to farm up. So if you're See You Soon, once again, you want to be able to buy Kosei some time. You want to contest these, though, and that's what I like them doing here. But really, can they actually get a pick off? That's one of the biggest questions when you're utilizing this Kaja pick. Right now, they have the positioning on the turtle, though, and it looks like ONIC might actually just give it up. Kyrie's not even a part of this, so MP the King getting that second turtle.
It's just too much effort, too much time, too much resources when Kyrie needs to start building up to his first and second items. I mean, at the end of the day, CW got a free tier 1 down bot side, and for what? For See You Soon to get a turtle, just a bit of EXP and a bonus turtle dragon buff? Like, it doesn't really do too much for them overall compared to ONIC, who's getting influence over the map.
Well, seeing that bot lane turret has been destroyed right now by Team ONIC, I can imagine seeing Carry in really good bushes.
Well, they've already started things off. The final slash comes out towards Kyrie's side. I don't think... Felix now getting punched, but here comes the NetherRealm for the counter engage. Retribution already being used, but sorry, I'm Felix still trying to get out. Sands almost getting it, but here comes the Raging Sandstorm, flickering on towards Babe's side. It's too much damage. They pull back. Luckily, no members of ONIC go down. I could be wrong, but Sands finds another one, and Boxy the King, he doesn't miss a shot.
Man, the polling back and forth and just kind of whittling things down against See You Soon was really well orchestrated there from ONIC, and now they're just continuing to put the pressure.
Yeah. After are they taking it? Who took it? Who took it? Who took it? Oh, it's MB the King. Well, after seeing the Divine Judgment from the side of Team See You Soon there, I told you about it before it happens. Keyboy, once he triggers his ultimate, he's gonna be drugged down by Boxy the King. Oh, there's some recalls here. He's so confident right now. But I want to speak about something. Whenever Keyboy misses his ult, he have always boots to cover his back, and that's what we saw with this Raging Sandstorm coming in with a flicker from the side of Team ONIC team.
Man, that's what is actually scary when you look at it all unfold, right? It's like a perfectly choreographed dance. You have Keyboy there holding on to that Minoan Fury. If he actually gets Divine Judgment, it's fine because you still have the Raging Sandstorm. You still have, spatial migration. There's so many possibilities to initiate a fight and pull back. That's what we see, right? Versus Keyboy, he pulls back if he has to flicker out. Then you have Boots coming in, and that's the problem for See You Soon right now, is kind of finding their way, navigating through all these entry points from ONIC. Right, and right now that might be just, again, time could be on their side if they can stall some of this out. you still have to rely on Kosei. He is this Brody.
conceal.
Boxy, though, going to jump in.
Oh, conceal.
They fit the 4, finds the Divine Judgment. Kyrie finds 3, and now the Violent Requiem gonna chunk him out. NetherRealm keeps them alive for the time being, and Final Slash actually whiffing. This is not bad for the side of ONIC. They still have a majority of their ults still up.
Kyrie positioned himself correctly in the next upcoming fight. He can take Brody out. He have a flicker and not a purify. So whenever Kyrie sees Kosei, he's just gonna have really good ideas.
Here we go. Oh man, sorry, I'm Felix tries to spend, but Kyrie's going to be able to secure that lord of the backline. He's getting attacked so quickly, and now CW finds a double. Sans gets a mega one blazing duet to put him in the dirt. MP the King trying to run away. Sans not gonna let him go. Chunks him out. Oh, misses the shot. CW should get this, right? There we go. Secures the kill.
The
and
double
even Raw
tap.
trying to Sans. You wouldn't. You wouldn't. He's taunting him underneath inhibitor turrets, and even Keyboy getting him back. They pull off, and here comes the Lord already spawned.
All right. We have just seen a team fight that could have ended with a maniac. CW is just flexing his Demon Hunter Sword. He's flexing his golden staff. We have seen the damage. We have seen Sans giving vision all around the map, even though Boxy the King is the one who started that team fight, but the ones who ended it up there in the sky were Team ONIC.
Again, I'm going to go back to the fact that I was saying before all that unfolded. It's great if you have a Divine Judgment. You pull Keyboy, but then what? And that's where you saw the triple spatial migration, gets the NetherRealm out, and it collapses from there. It really just feels like there's too many options for ONIC right now, and really, if you do find a pick, do you have enough damage? You know, if you're SYS soon to actually follow up, and time and time again. Gideon, I know you love the word feint. This is what's happening. A lot of the times, it's even just Kyrie baiting out the final slash.
Exactly, because Kyrie's one of the only few people in the lineup of ONIC right now in terms of the draft, right? Playing this Guinevere to get in and out of fights. If we're talking about Boots, he doesn't necessarily want to get out of the fight. He kind of wants to end the fight. And the same can be said about Keyboy, right? They don't have the most amount of mobility once they've committed all of their resources and all of their spells.
Yeah, quick reflexes, that what we got used to by seeing Kyrie, even though he's not an assassin, even though he's playing a utility jungler, but yet he is still so smooth with his execution. Let's have a quick look here at the in-game equipment. We will see that Brody already have his Blade of Hypnosis and also the Malefic Raw, which will give him a little good advantage when it comes to dealing some physical damage to the tanky heroes from the side of Team ONIC. Speaking of the tanky heroes, we only speak about here Boots on the Khalid, Kyrie as well, and Keyboy. So by banning that carry, they did manage to have this tanky composition, and by this tanky composition, they managed to torture, I would say, Team Sisu when it comes to the crowd control matter.
You know, the more that I look at this, and I'm thinking, like, was the carry ban necessary, right? Especially based on the first 3 picks. And I think for the time being, I think Coach Eb had the foresight to see that maybe Siyusu wanted to go for the traditional Kaja into carry pick, right? Because if we're looking at quote-unquote tanky heroes, it honestly is just Kyrie and as well as Keyboy. Boots is building full damage right now. And can we first talk about good guy Boots? The fact that he's level 13 to, sorry, I'm Felix, level 11. This man is so far ahead of the game, which is not normal for ONIC, who usually tell Boots, like, you just have to take it.
Well, what I love also about the builds is that I see Kyrie building half of the builds, the half of the Cursed Helmet, and also the half of Blade Armor. There's a Conceal. What are they aiming for?
I mean, it's just cost efficiency, right?
They're making their way top for Sans, who is going to do just that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Navarre is probably not the play there, so they're going to go ahead and give up this Lord. Not really much they can do about it. So you're kind of wondering, like, is SYS soon, do they feel like they're in this position now where they're 9K behind and they just have to find anything they can, you know, at this point in the game? It's only 13 minutes in here, Yasu.
The defense is possible, theoretically speaking, because you have the Paramis, you also have the Final Slash that can flip things around, but yet you don't have that wave clearance for Team SYS soon. Depending on just having a Brody to clear and to deal some damage to the minions, the Paramis, I wouldn't agree that much when it comes to clearance, so it's going to be a little bit hard to defend in the minutes 13 or 14 minutes in and having 10k gold, or being 10k gold behind from Team ONIC. The next engage, I would actually say chaos happening in the Land of Dawn. You have the Minotaur, you have also Khalid, and you have that Guinevere. Everyone will be just flying in the air at some point.
Sans was looking for that, right? But not going to be able to get it. Here's the Lord, though. Bottom side.
Oh.
Still shots being fired from afar. That's the hard thing for Siasun to deal with right now in this siege on the base. So, bottom turret going to be taken out. ONIC still putting the pressure here. They might actually force a situation knowing that they have this kind of lead unless they take the discipline route and they just get the base fully exposed with this first push in.
Yeah, I mean, just look at what they're doing right now. Like ONIC, they could have synchronized the waves, but they've decided the Luminous Lord is going to crack open the very first inhibitor turret, right? So the next thing we're going to do is start sieging you down. Like Sans, get as many shots as you want. Make them feel punished for sitting in their base. Really hurt them, and we don't have to commit anything. Just sweep through their jungle.
Yeah, having the Blood Wings and also seeing the Malefic Roar comes for CW means that the damage will be more annoying on Team Siasun, especially when it comes to Sans, because he's just dropping bombs from far away and dealing tremendous amount of damage to Kosei and especially also to Ra.
Okay, so far so good though for Siasun. They're holding it together despite getting siege from afar. The shot after shot from Sans. But ultimately, they only lose the one turret, right? Given the fact that they're down 10,000 gold, that's not too bad. Siasun, though, look at the damage dealt, right? I mean, at one point, where is that point for them to crawl back into this game? If they can stay in the base, defend as much as they can, ultimately it's going to lead to ONIC just taking another Lord, doing the same things until they are ready to actually force an initiation here. So that didn't happen with the first one that they went in with the Lord, but still, that's what's the future of Siasun, unless somehow, some way, they are actually able to pull something off. This is where I would like to say once again, and why I feel like LaFell likes to say this. Imagine if the Arlot, if Felix can actually get a final slash off that's going to help them win a fight.
Now you're LaFell pilled. He is.
I'm missing him. I'm missing LaFell.
Look, we got to keep it based here. We got to keep it based here on the desk, right? The important thing is that ONIC, at the end of the day, even if they try to force a fight onto CU soon, it can be very awkward, especially when it's underneath their crystal, right? And that's why ONIC is purposely dragging this out. Hey, come on out. We're gonna call a technical pause, but come on out towards that Lord pit so that now you have nowhere to run. At the very least, we can commit to this fight.
Let's look at this game from all the aspects, since now we are giving the time. The last team fight, I would actually say that it was so easy to take the inhibitor turrets at least. You had an enhanced Lord, you have the gold lead, 10k ahead. You shouldn't be that much afraid from the final slash, because yes, it can make your position doesn't sound as solid as you wanted, but you have the items to defend whatever sort of damage that can be dealt upon you. Minotaur, also having Khalid, not just that, the damage from CW haven't been touched so far. Team ONIC could have went for inhibitor turrets at least, and this is something I'm not quite sure why they weren't as aggressive as I expected.
Well, I think a lot of it boils down to, one, majority of the gold that's coming from this 9k gold lead is, one, Kyrie, and two, coming in from Boots as well. I mean, let's not forget, sorry, the big one, Sans, of course, and he's the one that's harassing, right?
Sure.
But Novaria is one of those heroes that plays in intervals. It's not as good as a Lilia that can kind of walk up, dish out all that damage, and as long as you hit the abilities, get those resets, and really push that advantage. Novaria doesn't work like that, unfortunately. And that's why they're trying to pull back, right? And let's not forget, Khalid is one of those heroes that, hey, if you have CC, Quicksand Guard ain't going to save you anymore, right? And Arlet is pretty good at canceling it.
That's what I'm wondering. Again, you know, when it comes down to it, when you're, and this isn't just these two teams, but generally, let's say you're down 10,000 gold.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
And you are pretty much turtled up in your base, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're just defending as much as you can here. What is, and we've seen this actually happen, but I'm just hypothetically throwing out there. How do you turn it around? You know, like, is it just a Hail Mary defense play that's going to only be the answer here in this situation with this lineup here across from them for Siasun?
Well, you need to accurately activate Faramis's ult, because this is the only way Team Siasun can buy more time. Because when it comes to defending the base, yes, the final slash can make everyone in a really bad position, etc., etc. But when it comes to Faramis, if he triggered his ultimate in a bad timing, if it's not on sharp, perfect timing, he's gonna lose the defense 100% for sure. But going ahead into the game, I cannot help but to remember seeing Sans having triple the damage dealt. Ooh.
Here we go. The chase has already started. The Lord falls into the hands of ONIC, and they find a pick on the Sorry I'm Felix. And that's where See You Soon call it quits. They're like, okay, we're only willing to sacrifice Felix. That's about it, because he's the most expendable, and he's the only one who's going to be able to kind of set this big play up for the rest of us. That 5-man dream not going to be there just yet.
Yeah, I mean, even in that case, it's like, should we have even been in that side of the jungle for the Lord, right? Like, what would we do? What would we accomplish? Even if we had the vision there, would it have been better if See You Soon just waited in the base? Yeah, you know, Sorry I'm Felix is going to be up by the time the Lord makes it here. But, you know, things like that are just going to further set you back in what you're trying to do, crawl back into this game. At this point, now 12,000 gold behind at the 17-minute mark. This is where ONIC is going to force it, punch it in, and possibly end it here as the Lord makes its way into the base.
Yep, they've lost all their inhibitor turrets here. This might be an endgame scenario, as now we see that CW, he's got to be careful, right? Even though he does have the BMI in a safe spot, he is nervous about Boxy the King. He could really turn this around for them. They can harass for as long as they want, but as long as there's that counter-engage ability from the side of See You Soon, there's always the possibility. Kyrie is going to make the attempt. Keyboy starts things off, flickers in hard. The NetherRealm is going to protect him. Keyboy ends up losing his immortality, and now they're letting everything throw in the kitchen sink as well. It's going to be the Sand Storm God that keeps Boots alive immediately after the ult. It's too nasty. They can't do much about it, and Sands has done enough to put them in the dirt. See You Soon drop the game.
A decisive win, game number 1 here for ONIC, under the 18-minute mark with a massive lead here. Very well executed.
Very well executed indeed, and that's what we are talking about. Just a matter of a millisecond can make the difference. Team ONIC are now flying, and now they are the Sky Kings soaring beyond their limits. We just saw a perfect execution coming from the Minotaur, coming with the flicker ult. Keyboy does deserve that S and S plus tier given by his teammates, and also given by his enemies.
And again, the way I'll look at it here is with the lead that they had, leading into even that first push into the base, they took the discipline route, right? They didn't put the pressure in, because at the end of the day, they're still trying to go through those steps, you know, make sure the boxes are checked. Even if we have a 10,000 gold lead, we're still going to make sure we go through the motions properly and execute it the way they want to, right? And that's exactly what happened. At one point, See You Soon, I feel like they were just down so much that, you know, they tried to get vision on the Lord, that last one, but really, what could you do there, even given that disparity?
Yeah, they were going to get stat checked either way with such a large disparity as well. And not to mention, you know, it's interesting to see that at least for the side of ONIC, they want to maintain a certain level of polish throughout the group stages, right? Previously, in some of their previous games where they were more, I wouldn't even say hesitant, but more sort of ballsy to make some crazier plays, I think now is the time that they're realizing that the knockout stage is getting closer and closer and closer. We might as well start now to get into that peak performance and finally find our stride once we start eliminating teams.
Well, I haven't seen Team See You Soon play as passive at this game. I actually, yes, there was that moment when they approached the Lord, even though they were behind in gold and everything. But I have seen Team See You Soon play more aggressive earlier on in the group stage. So I would just wait to see, are they relaxed because they secured that top 2 or not?
Well, again, keeping things together here on how they executed. The MVP for this game is also Sands. Once again, amazing performances so far throughout this entire group stage from him. And this is why I'm saying, you know, when you look at ONIC, yeah, you know, you might want to point this person out, but really what's happened here is this entire lineup just pops off in different ways throughout the course of their game. The matches they go through, they all shine in their own way. And as you look at the highlights here from this game, yes, it was very dominant, right? And they started early on. A lot of these skirmishes could have gone in favor of See You Soon, but once again, it was all choreographed very well. The timing of everything, just like you see here from Kyrie, jump in, follow through. That's what, you know, this is where that expertise really starts to shine on this squad here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the best part about ONIC is that whoever has the lead, they change their style of play according to the person who has the money to back them up. And that's the fun part about it, right? That's why you're seeing that. Imagine if CW had a whopping lead. I think they would have been way more aggressive with a lot of the engagement. But since Sans is the one who has the cash, he gets to predetermine the way these fights actually go. You gotta wait for my Astral Echoes before you go in, nothing else. And then you start looking for engages. So he communicates very well with both Keyboy as well as Boots.
Yeah, and speaking of Sans, you cannot neglect the fact that he was triple the damage dealt by the nearest player in this game. And looking here, this was the final moments that Team See You Soon have witnessed in the Land of Dawn. They tried their best to defend that last wave coming in, but Team ONIC just the goal difference and also the crowd control that they have. Let's go to the statistics and see what the Team ONIC bring up new, or even what did Team See You Soon bring up new. As you said, we haven't been used to see this such emblem or like this such set of emblem coming from the Brody. But what actually caught my eyes was at the end game when we get to the items is that Faramis also bought the room for himself for the team. So actually, Team See You Soon before the game ended, they had 2 room and also they had 2 room, and I believe they were both for the conceal. So let's check here.
No,
it was that. Yeah. So I just like maybe I'm colorblind.
No, don't worry about it. It happens all the time. I've hung out with Lefel more times than no. In these types of situations, especially for those who are unaware, once you start hitting it in towards that 8-minute, again, there's not going to be a lot of time to actually make this work out. So, especially when you are looking to go for these builds, I'm more surprised that Kuse was going for the Master Assassin going into that gold lane, right? It felt like against See You Soon, they have done a little bit of homework on ONIC and expecting that at least for Chairway CW, Mr. Calvin would be by himself.
Yeah, and CW at some point he sold his own boost just because he knows he can rely on his teammate, and also because he needed that extra damage. He just dealt, or like he just lived with the stacks coming from his first kill.
Yeah, and again, when you look at these things kind of unfold, right? One of the biggest things is the standout thing, I would say, from these teams, these regions that have been dominating for a while is usually when they have a lead, they are less likely to let it slip through their hands. And that's going even back from the wild card, right? This is something we saw a lot. We saw where it was comparison of these teams that have the utility part executed perfectly, right? The dances, the turtles, the lords, and everything else. But even back in the wild card, some of these teams, they just like to duke it out. But this time, ONIC, they like to duke it out. But usually, again, when they garner themselves a lead like this, it does not slip out of their hands.
Yeah, and looking at the team fight participation from the side of Team ONIC, you can tell that they used their formation to its maximum potential. Why so? Because they have this area crowd control heroes such as the Minotaur, also the Guinevere, and you can have the Khalid as well. And all of them had almost above 88%, which means that the team played for. And this is actually strange because I didn't think I would say that about ONIC one day, because they have the Kyrie goes in, he have the most skill participation, but in this game they worked as a team, as a full.
Yeah.
I mean, like they use the area crowd control to always be together, not like have a one team fight on the top lane side and leave CW down there.
They basically layer things really well, right? With the draft that they took out, and that's the important thing, and that's why I'm saying like this is a team that they. And if you consider all the strategies you've seen from ONIC, really, there's so many, right?
Yeah.
Yes, there's distinctive play styles, but at this point, the current meta we are in, and even just in these 5 days of the group stages, if you guys have caught all the games, you've seen very different play styles from team to team, from draft to draft. This last series alone, we had 3 different play styles from all of them performing drafts. And really, that's the thing. You just know that a team like ONIC is going to have this game plan. They're going to execute it well. So if you're See You Soon, and what we've seen from them before is, like you said, it's all sweeps so far. And this is one of their first, I would say, really big challenges ahead of them, right? So how do you approach that if you're See You Soon? And how do you approach game 2 with a loss like this from game 1?
I think a couple of things that need to be understood is the fact that ONIC is one of those teams where it's not like they have a set game plan every single time. They have rough guidelines, which is very much the Coach Yev philosophy, the way that he kind of holds himself and the way that he kind of interacts with a lot of his players. The same can be applied to the game, where you have a simple couple of guidelines of how you want to approach these fights, but at the end of the day, communication is always going to be key, and they're always constantly adjusting. During their time of MSC, one of the longest games that we saw coming in from ONIC themselves, and I think it was it against Burnex Flash, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. I'll double check that later. I was talking to CW at the hotel afterwards. You know what he told me? He told me, he was like, oh, what was the first thing that you said after you won that game? It's like, I need some water. Because they were talking constantly, again, back and forth to kind of adjust and refine the plan as they play throughout the game. And that's why it feels that ONIC is a lot more fluid compared to a lot of other teams who need that rigid structure to play the game. That's why we're seeing the preparation from the side of Brody going for Master Assassin. That's why we're seeing the common emblems going onto this Arlet to hover around the turtle because they know it's going to spawn on that side for the very first one at level 4.
Yeah, love the insights there, Gideon, and it leaves you really questioning how that things is going to change ahead of us. Now, of course, real quick for all you guys watching over there, here comes the TikTok drops. If you guys are watching on TikTok, the M5 has something special for you guys, an M5 on TikTok for 5 minutes, and you can win 1 TikTok viewer chest. Yes, there are chests out there. Watch out for 20 minutes, and you might win TikTok Deluxe chest. If you guys are here with us in the venue and you somehow pull up TikTok, maybe you can get a chest as well.
I don't know where the pop-up is supposed to be. I think it's like the top right, but then it's vertical, so it's like it's even further beyond. You'll figure it out if you're watching on TikTok. It would make a lot more sense there.
Well, today started with 2 1s so far. It have